You all good? Okay. Please stand. Alrighty. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Hail and blessed be the hour and moment in which the Son of God was born of the most pure Virgin Mary, at midnight in Bethlehem, in piercing cold. In that hour, vouchsafe, O my God, to hear my prayers and grant my desires, through the merits of our Savior Jesus Christ, and of his blessed Mother. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Ow! Okay, sit. Ladies. Dylan, dig out your practice tests, please.
It's an exam.
Practice exam. I am going to search through these relatively quickly. Got it.
Are we getting answer sheet?
We should be getting an answer key. I should have one by the end of today. Let me see. I can probably print it off for you. I was still fixing a few typos. I should be able to print it off for you. Okay. So number 1. Actually, let me call that up real fast. The computer froze this morning, so I've got to recreate everything. So, number 1, test, and semester 1. Got it. All right. I'm actually open to.
Question?
Yes. I'm trying to figure out what order to go in. To just plow through them in order, or whether just jump around? Plow through?
Let's just do all 28, 29.
Okay, tell you what. Does you want me to read the answers off to you? Yeah. Okay. And I can give you an answer key to study a little later on. But for now, let's take a look. I need to fix the screen real fast here. Okay. Number 1. The answer is, there are 5 terms. Negative 5k to the 5th, minus 6k to the 4th, minus 15k to the 3rd, plus 8k squared, minus 12k. And obviously all the minuses could be plus, negative. Yeah?
You repeat that.
Yeah. Negative 5k to the 5th, minus 6k to the 4th, minus 15k to the 3rd, minus 8k squared, minus 12k. So.
Isn't it plus 8k squared?
Plus 8k squared, did I say minus?
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Yeah, plus 8k squared, sorry. So the 5 terms are minus, 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 plus, minus. Any other repeats? Number 2. This is just distributing. Should have 16x to the 3rd plus 64x squared minus 8x, or plus negative 8x. Number 3, you FOIL them. Should get 28n squared minus 30n plus 8. Number 4, there are 4 terms. I stack multiply these. First term is 16 p to the 3rd plus 4p squared minus 40p minus 25. That is again. So it's p to the 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and 0. 16, 4, negative 40, negative 25. Make sense? Number 5, there are 5 terms. 32k to the 4th minus 68k to the 3rd minus 45k squared plus 79k plus 42. And we need to repeat it. Number 5. Very good. Number 6 has no remainder. M plus 9. Number 7 does have a remainder. X minus 5 plus 4 over x plus 9. That is again, x minus 5 or plus negative 5 plus 4 over x plus 9. Everybody good at number 7?
Mm-hmm.
Number 8 has a remainder. N squared plus n plus 10 plus negative 6 over n plus 7. I need to repeat.
Wait, for what?
For number 8. N squared plus n plus 10 plus negative 6 over n plus 7.
Sorry, can you repeat it one more?
Yeah. N squared plus n plus 10 plus negative 6 over n plus 7. There we go. Number 9, start factoring these. Number 9 factors twice. First, there's a GCF of 3. Pull that out. And you'll have r squared minus 8r minus 20. Then that factors into r minus 10, r plus 2 on FOILs. So the final answer should be 3, then r minus 10, then r plus 2. Hey, Ricky, we're just starting. And we're just reading off the answers to the answer key for the practice again. Did I, Mary Kay, question, did I send you the answer key or no? I forgot. Yeah. Okay, good. We're just reading off the answers. So it's going to be a pretty boring 5 to 10 minutes for you here. So we'll get there. Where did I leave off? Number 10? Everybody got number 9?
Yeah.
Okay, number 10 is GCF of x. So you should have x parentheses x minus 2. You're welcome. Number 11, there is a GCF of 2. And then the remaining thing factors by magic pair. 7n minus 9 and n plus 9. So the whole thing is 2, then 7n minus 9, then n plus 9. If the parentheses are in a different order, that's fine. Number 12 is magic pair. 5v minus 8 and v minus 5. So 5v minus 8 and v minus 5. Number 13 factors twice. It factors by GCF of 7. And then it factors by grouping. So the whole thing should be 7, then parentheses 7n squared minus 3, then parentheses 5n plus 2. Let me say it again. The number in front is 7, then the next parentheses is 7n squared minus 3, and then the other parentheses is 5n plus 2. Everybody okay with number 13? Yeah.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Yeah. 7, this is for number 13. 7 parentheses 7n squared minus 3, then parentheses 5n plus 2. Okay. Yeah.
Can you repeat 12?
12. Let me look. Yeah. 2 parentheses. 5v minus 8, and then v minus 5. It's easy.
So for number 13, do you have to put 7n squared minus 3 after 7?
You could have the 5n plus 2 right after the 7.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah. If the 2 parentheses are in a different order, that's okay. Number 14. That is a binomial squared. That is 3x plus 4 parentheses squared. You could have magic paired it and gotten 3x plus 4, 3x plus 4, which is 3x plus 4 parentheses squared. Number 15, solve by factoring. This factors to r minus 4, r plus 1, and then solve it with the zero product property. So you should get r equals 4, r equals negative 1. Okay. Number 16, it factors by GCF of 8, I believe, and then it magic pairs. Yeah. Right.
So for 15, the answer is r equals 4, r equals negative 1.
Correct. No problem. Number 16. By the time you factor out a GCF of 8 and then magic pair the last stuff, you should have two solutions. B is equal to 1, and B is equal to negative 8 over 3. Negative 8 over 3. So you should have like the two parentheses after the 8 should have been like, I think it was 3x plus 8 and x minus 1. Okay,
So what's missing?
which one? 16? Two answers, two solutions. B is equal to 1, and B is equal to negative 8 over 3. Number 17, simplify. It's a fraction. The top should be negative 3x plus 4y. And the bottom should be 4y to the third. And the restriction is y cannot be 0. Number 18, it's a fraction. The top should be 8x minus 1. 8x minus 1. The bottom should be x minus 2, x plus 3. Then we multiply those together. If you did, you should have had x squared plus x minus 6. That's fine. On the bottom. The multiplied or the non-multiplied?
What?
The bottom. You do want them multiplied together or no?
Yes.
Okay, so the top should be 8x minus 1. The bottom, if you multiplied it, would be x squared minus, x squared plus x minus 6. Max?
Could you quickly say,
I didn't do the restrictions yet, by the way.
oh, right, could you tell me the restrictions for 16 real quickly?
16. You didn't need restrictions on 16. Solutions.
No, yeah, that was 0 for the calculator.
So 18, the restrictions are x is not 2, and x is not negative 3. It's easy.
Could you say just a fraction for 17 again?
17, yeah, negative 3x plus 4y, all over 4y cubed. Johanna, then Elijah.
What's the final answer for 18?
18. Do you want the bottom
Oh, wait,
multiplied together or no?
Sure.
Okay. Now, don't just pick it random. The top is 8x minus 1. That's going to be true no matter what. The bottom, you could either have x minus 2, x plus 3, and leave it that way. Or you can multiply and get x squared plus x minus 6 on the bottom. Everybody catch that. Number 19. The top factors, and they cancel some 3x plus 10s. Your final answer should be x plus 3 over x minus 10. X plus 3 over x minus 10.
what is this for?
Number 19.
Did we ever say restrictions for 18?
I already did.
Can't be 2, it can't be negative.
Correct. And there are two restrictions for number 19. X cannot be 10, and x cannot be negative 10 over 3. And it repeats up to number 19. Yeah, oh.
Repeat the part that's not a restriction.
Yeah. X plus 3 on top, x minus 10 on the bottom. Everybody good up to number 19? Okay, number 20. The answer is b is a fraction. On the top is b minus 1. The bottom is b plus 7. And there are three restrictions. B cannot be negative 7, B cannot be 1, and B cannot be 8. Like
The fraction.
the fraction. B minus 1 on top, B plus 7 on the bottom. No problem. So we're okay with number 20. All right, number 21. Two terms. Negative 4 radical 2 plus 2 radical 5. Negative 4 radical 2 plus 2 radical 5. Yeah. If you have 2 radical 5 plus negative 4 radical 2, that's fine. Number 22, there are two terms. 15 radical 3 minus 6 radical 6. 15 radical 3 minus 6 radical 6. Repeats. If you had negative 6 radical 6 plus 15 radical 3, that's fine.
We're on 22, right?
That was 22. Yeah. Number 23, and it repeats up to 22. Speak now or forever hold your peace. All right, number 23. You have to FOIL these. You should get two terms. First term is -12 plus 5 radical 6. This is number 23. -12 plus 5 radical 6. 24 is a little involved. It's a fraction with two terms on top. The top should be 2 radical 10 plus 5 radical 2. 2 radical 10 plus 5 radical 2. And the bottom should be 10. Elijah.
I had 2 radical 10 plus 1 half.
That would now work, sorry. If you had 2 radical 10, yeah, right now. Bella.
I had 2 over radical 10 plus 1 over radical 2.
You can't split it over a plus sign.
If you can split them into two different equations.
You could have 2 over radical 10 plus radical 5 over 10. Oh, I see what you did. Oh, I see. You're partially right, but you gotta get the radical out of the basement. Yeah, Reagan.
Is there like another version of the practice exam?
Why do you ask? Do you have another version? Are all your answers different?
No.
Oh, good. That's might have a heart attack. No! But,
I just wanted another, because like the brackets.
oh, absolutely, yes. I can, that's actually pretty easy to do. Remind me before study hall, and I'll see if I can print one out. Elijah.
Number 22, I
Yeah.
got 3 radical 3 in the GCF. And then I had radical 9 minus radical 8 plus radical 4.
Unfortunately, no. Reduce the radicals. Radical 27 reduces to radical 9, radical 3, and boils down.
Oh.
Okay, everybody okay to number 24? Moving on, number 25. This is the most bizarre of them all.
Yeah, I guess.
By the way, I'm not gonna do this, well, I'll tell you later. Number 25, I'm just gonna write it. It looks like this. Number 25. -2. It's easier than you think, believe it or not. It looks horrible.
I already got it wrong.
Plus 8 radical 3 minus radical 5 plus 4 radical 15. This is a hostage situation, so you gotta get the bottom fixed. All over 47.
Oh, no, what? No. What happened?
She got it wrong.
Jeez.
She got one
That's-
term wrong.
That's,
I actually got 2 terms wrong. She got 46 on the bottom.
alright.
I need a simple side then.
By the way, extra credit, just in case you're interested.
I'm not interested.
Number 26. There are 3 terms plus a remainder. R squared plus 3r plus -1 plus -1 over 2r, I'm sorry, plus -2 over 4r plus 2.
Dang it.
Dang it. Not even close.
If you can actually factor and reduce the remainder, but I'm not requiring that. If anybody had -1 over 2r plus 1, I would actually give you a +1 extra credit on that if you reduce the radical.
Wait, what?
The remainder was -2 over 4r plus 2. You can pull a GCF of 2 out of the denominator and reduce. If you do, if you're sneaky enough to do that, I might give you an extra point above and beyond the extra credit.
I thought it was going to be another level.
Number 27. There are 2 solutions. N is equal to -7 over 5. N is equal to -3 over 5. The secret of that, you have to get the answer down to 0 before you start. Equals 0 is code for solving, so you have to subtract 3 from both sides.
Oh, yeah.
Then you can factor by magic error. Number 28. This was, oh my goodness, have you got this? Actually, it's not horrible, bad, evil, just sort of.
No, yes, it is evil. It's horrible.
It is. All right, it's not the most evil thing I've ever seen.
I did one thing.
Let me just write this off. 28 looks like this. This is extra credit. Don't stress if you didn't get it. It is 20p squared
Already got one.
minus 157p plus 184 all over p minus 6
No, you did.
and 5p minus 8.
Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I didn't do
You
the
magic
top.
pair at the bottom. And then there are 2 restrictions. P cannot be 6. P cannot be 8 over 5. There you go. Questions? Well, repeats it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the bottom factors by magic pair on the right hand side. Everybody clear? That was the monster. That's actually worth 1 or 2 extra points beyond the normal because that was a brain buster. There will be a set. I have no idea. Questions? Okay, I'm gonna
There's 29.
reduce this in just a second. Mary Kay, can you read those? Oh yeah, you have the answer key. Never mind. Done. Okay. You can't see that though? Okay. Here, maybe I can pull this closer. A little better? Kinda? Okay.
I didn't do the
Let's see
bottom
if I
either.
can tilt this.
You didn't do the bottom?
Something like that. Yeah, we'll see. I'll try and write bigger. Yeah.
Did
Okay.
you get the bottom right?
Question? Yeah, Mary Kay. Question.
There's a lot of.
I don't want to do that.
Just a second. I will give you first crack at it, yeah. But, any last repeats? Class, yeah.
You never did 29.
20 what?
You never did
Oh, I
29.
forgot 29. Oops. And, yeah, no, where is it? Oh, here it is.
No.
29. I forgot the last page. Solve. X equals 9.
What?
X equals 9. Correct.
Three people turned around and looked at Joseph like.
All right. Okay, listen up, please. Best friends, y'all. Okay, Mary Kate, you go first. Go.
Can you do number 7?
Number 7, yes. Let me grab this with me. And we are videotaping this, so if it looks crummy on here, I understand. And you'll have a much better one on YouTube. Number 7,
Oh, I got this one right.
you relax, y'all. And you quiet enough to hear. Okay, number 7, yes. X squared plus 4x minus 41. I'm going to add the opposite. Divided by, then I'm going to do log division, x plus 9. 7. Are we looking up here? Especially if you have a question on this. John, a quick question. By the way, I lose the gun.
Oh, shoot. That's not the one.
Yeah,
Yeah, one second.
lose the gun, please. All right, how do you do this? You tell me. Where do you start long division? Yeah.
The first goes into the first, which is x goes into x squared,
How many times?
x times.
All right, fine. Yeah. I said, I don't know if it's find out. This is x. It goes in x times. Put that here. Do not put it on the top slide. Then what do you do with the x?
Then you multiply it to the other x, and then,
Okay.
and then you get negative x squared because you have to add that.
Well, hold on. One step at a time. Multiply.
Then you get x squared.
X squared plus
9x.
9x. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Now what do you do?
Now you add the opposite.
Add the opposite, yes. Cancel.
That's negative 5x
Good.
plus negative 41.
Yeah, bring down the negative 41. Actually, let me click this thing off. Okay, yeah, okay, question.
Could you slow down?
Well, okay. Start here.
My fault.
You see this is kind of as 2 digits, like x plus 9.
Yeah.
Can 2 digits go into 1?
No.
No. Can 2 digits go into 2?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
So it's going to be here, I just don't know how many. So all you do is you look at the first term and the first term, and that's all you look at. How many times does x go into x squared? The answer is, I don't know, let's find out. Over here. So let's do the x squared divided by x, see how many times it goes in? It goes in x times. Does that make sense?
X times.
Yeah, does that make sense so far?
Yeah, so would you put it above the x squared or above the 4x?
Above the 4x. Because if it's above the x squared, that would mean two terms can't go into one term. It didn't go into the one term, so you can't go above the first term. It's kind of like a two-digit number going into a two-digit number, they have to line up. So that has to be here. And the power should line up too. So if it's regular x, the squareds would have been above the squareds, if there were any, and there aren't. Okay? So then you take this and multiply it. X times x is x squared. X times 9 is 9x. Then I subtract, quote unquote, which really is adding the opposite. Oh, that's right, my blazer is making the camera go frazzed. Hang on. So, hopefully that's a little better. Now, add the opposite, these cancel. 4x plus negative 9x is negative 5x. Is that okay? And then just drop down to negative 41, and that's where we are so far.
Okay.
Alrighty, take over Elijah.
X plus 9.
Hold on. Okay, what about
It can go into negative 5x plus negative 41.
it? And which terms are you paying attention to?
X and negative 5.
Right, just the first term and the first term. I'm not even worried about the 9 or the negative 41 yet. How many times does x go into negative 5x?
Negative 5 now.
I don't know, let's find out. You're right, by the way. Negative 5x over x. Just make sure you don't jump to conclusions. The x's cancel, negative 5. I'm going to put plus negative 5. Does that make sense so far?
Yep, the top of the 5.
Okay. Joanna, take over. What do you do with that negative 5?
You multiply it by x.
Go for it. Negative 5 times x is
Negative 5x.
negative 5x plus what?
Negative 45.
Negative 45. Now what?
You add the opposite.
What's the opposite of negative?
Positive.
Positive. What happens there?
They cancel.
And what's left here?
4.
4. What do I do with that? Please do not say R4. I want that to die miserably. Go.
4 over x plus 9.
Very close. There's one thing
Oh,
in between.
Plus
Plus
4x
4 over
plus 9.
whatever you're dividing by. And that is your answer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, question. Same one or different one?
Same one.
Okay, go for it.
So what I did is I did the multiply way. So I did x squared plus 4x minus 41 over 1 times 1 over x plus 9.
Oh,
And then I got x squared plus 4x minus 1 over x.
yeah, unfortunately, that's the original problem. You get the exact same problem back.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, so you have to do long division. Sorry, there's no shortcut on this one. So, make sense so far? Okay, Bella.
Can you do 4?
Number 4. Yeah.
Oh, how did I miss that?
Click this up real fast. Oh, I see. Number 4 is a multiplying problem. I would strongly suggest that you stack multiply this. You don't have to. I'll show you 2 different ways if you want. It's 4p plus 5 times 4p squared minus 4p minus 5. What I would do, when you're multiplying like a 2-digit number and a 3-digit number, I put the smaller one underneath. So I'm going to do this. I'm just going to ignore this. And I'm going to add the opposite. So I'm all set to multiply. What you're going to do is same multiplying that you normally do with numbers. This times this, this times this, this times this. That'll give you your first row. Then, this times this, this times this, this times this. It's kind of like 445 times 45. You do it the same way. 5 times negative 5. Will you tell me? I'm sorry? Negative 25. and then put a plus in between everything. What's 5 times negative 4p? Yeah. Then plus what? Yep. Positive 20 p squared. And that's the first row. Makes sense? Okay. And Joe.
I was gonna ask this.
Okay, let me just turbo this through. 4p times, negative 5 is negative 20p. Plus negative 16p squared. Plus, I think it's 16p to the third. Then just add the like terms. You should have 16p to the third. Plus, I think that's 4p squared. Plus negative 40, those do not cancel. Plus negative 25. And that's that. Next, Joe.
Can
No.
you do number 20?
20. Let me see what it is. Yes. Number 20, it says simplify and list the restrictions. Mary Kay, you okay with this number, whatever that was? I think it was number 8. Okay, good. Number 20 looks like this. It looks kind of horrendous.
19.
1 over b plus 7 over b minus 8 over b squared minus 9b plus 8. The one thing I'd like you to notice, you notice there are 4 levels on this thing?
Yeah.
That's a fraction.
Attention Sacred Heart students and staff. Penny Wars will end today at 1:30. Please make sure your money is turned in by 1:30 outside of Miss Taryn's room, room 109. Thank you.
We didn't even try.
We didn't add any.
We didn't put
We
any,
were-
last time I checked, we were in second place.
No, because no, everyone's just been sabotaging.
Guys, I don't wanna online shopping.
That was like,
Leave that as it may.
end of last year.
You're lucky you're home.
Paint it.
So,
I have dollars.
If the war is lost honorably, it is lost well.
It wasn't honorable. We
You
didn't
didn't
try.
even feel guilty.
Yeah, we didn't sabotage anybody either, right?
I didn't
So there you go.
Well, we have 0 pennies.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
didn't even see the table. Like, I didn't even
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, you see, then if you didn't fight, then you didn't stab anybody in the back, see?
They did that.
I'm trying to look on the bright side, y'all. All right. Hush, 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 hush. Penny wars are no over. Long live penny wars. Now, this thing, I'm kidding. Over here, it's a fraction divided by a fraction, which means it's the original fraction times the reciprocal over b minus 8. Is it clear so far? Now, how do you do this? The top here, yeah, go. It factors. By what method?
Difference of two squares.
Almost. One before that. Well, 2 before that.
Foil, unfoil.
Unfoil. Once your numbers add up to negative 9 and multiply by 8, yeah.
B plus 1 minus
What?
1.
B minus 1?
B plus 8
B what?
plus 8.
They have to add up to negative 9, no?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. B minus 1, B minus 8. Does that do us any good? Yeah, Bill. The B minus 8's cancel directly above. You're only left with B minus 1 on top, B plus 7 on the bottom. Just be careful. Anything that was ever in the bottom needs to be restricted. That means this was in the bottom. B cannot be negative 7. And this thing was in the bottom. These two pieces are in the bottom. So let me write it down here. B minus 1, B minus 8. Those are restricted. So B cannot be 1, and B cannot be 8. And that's the end of the problem. Question? Elijah, then Bob.
I didn't even try, but I thought B minus 8 was on the bottom also.
It is.
Well, I mean, like, the top, minus 8.
Oh, it is. It's just covered, it's covered either way.
No, I meant the other one, that's, at the beginning, like the first problem, and then.
Oh, you thought this was on the bottom?
Yeah, so
Oh,
I
gotcha.
still got it right, though.
Okay. Oh, that's called lucky. Took away. Bella.
Okay, how did you get those restrictions?
Restrictions, anything that's ever in the denominator has to be forbidden to be 0. If it's a little denominator or a big denominator.
Yeah, but where did you get the restrictions?
These two,
Yeah.
this factors.
Yeah, wasn't that like a C1 something that's like
Well, let me just put it, here it is in its glory. 1 over b plus 7 on top. Remember, this is a little bottom, you have to restrict it. The other one, if you factor it, it looks like this. b minus 8 over b minus 1, b minus 8. So this is restricted, and this is restricted, because all of them are on the bottom of a fraction. Okay. Let me see. Sarah, the next, go.
Key number
12. Okay. Righty. There's this thing I did wrong. Where's number 12? Go 13. 12. Gotcha. 12 is a magic pair problem. 5b squared minus 33b plus 40. I'm going to add the opposite. There is no common factor. Always check that first. So magic pair says you multiply the first and last, and you should get 200b squared. Okay? The only really guaranteed way to do this, a lot of people are just saying, oh my goodness, there are a huge number of pairs, I'm just going to start guessing. There's a danger in that. I would not do that yet. I would just start from the beginning. However, I do know something. What do the two numbers have to add up to? Negative 33. Do you notice these add up to positive 201? We're nowhere near what we want. As long as the two numbers are positive, it's not going to work. Let's skip down to negative 1b times negative 200. At least it's negative. Keep going. Negative 2b times negative 100b. That's negative 102. It's getting better. 3 doesn't go in. 4 times negative 50. That's negative 54. Better yet, negative 5b times, I don't know, 40. Negative 45. We're getting very close now. 6 doesn't work, 7 doesn't work. How about 8? Negative 8b times, what? 25? And that's negative 33. Ding, 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 ding. Got it. So now what I'm going to do is put that in and make it 5b squared plus negative 8b plus negative 25b plus 40. That's still on screen. Here, I'll tilt this over a little bit. Okay. So now, factor by grouping. This, you can pull out a b with 5b minus 8 left behind. You can do plus negative 8, that's fine. I'm going to. This, you pull out a negative 5. If it starts negative, pull out a negative. Remember, if you pull out a negative, the signs switch. It'll be 5b plus negative 8, which is good for us because that matches. Pull out the common factor of 5b minus 8. And then left behind is b minus 5. And that is your answer. Questions on that one? Everybody get that one? Any questions? Mary Kate?
Could you do number 11?
Yes, just a second, and then I'll jump in with Johanna and then Elijah. Oh, sorry, yeah, go ahead. And then I'll do yours next. Everybody okay, number 12? And I'm sorry, Mary Kate, what was that again?
Number 11.
11. All right, let's take a look. Just so I'm aware, first of all, I got about 10 more minutes. Then we're going into study hall. Looking ahead, what I'm planning to do is today and tomorrow, we're gonna go through this. And we can also go through it on Friday, but I'm expecting we'll get done tomorrow. What I'm planning to do Friday is give you all a second version of this, which you can work on in groups. So just for the hour, and then I'll walk around for questions and work stuff on the board for anybody who wants. Okay? So it'll be another version. The real test will look very, very much like this. I'll change the numbers and, variables. Make sense? All right, just so you know what's happening. So you go to 10 more minutes, let's do number 11. Let's see what that is. 14n squared. Plus 108n. Minus 162. Okay. Now I look at those and is there a GCF? And I say there's at least a GCF of 2.
Yeah.
Let's try that. So 2 parentheses 7n squared plus, I think it's 54, n plus negative 81. I think that's negative.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that has, I don't see any more common factors. The only thing that'll tear this apart, magic pair. This one was kind of brutal, I will be the first to admit. 80 times 7, boy, negative 567. N squared. Yeehaw. This is the one where I would not be ashamed to trot a calculator out. Because I know this is 1n times negative 567n. 2 doesn't work. 3 doesn't work. By the way, I will give you a hint though. If you're wondering what numbers go into this, you can either just go through the whole list, which is the safest thing to do, or, by the way, if this disturbs anybody, just pretend it's a bad dream and you never heard it. Just pretend it's all like a 30-second, like, waking nightmare, and then it'll all disappear. But for people who are feeling sneaky, what on earth would go into 567? Because that's really big. There's something up here that'll tell you. Yeah. 7 goes in and 9 goes in. Because if 7 and 81 go into this thing, I bet you 9 goes in, I bet you 3 goes in, and I bet you 7 goes in. And that's largely it. Yeah, well, 21 I think goes in. But try it. 3n times, negative 128, 9. I think that's right. Max, question.
Yeah, I didn't really do what you said. I went like, so I didn't figure writing 1n was worth it, and then I saw that 2n could go into it, and then I added the digits to see if 3 would, and I said 9 also in it, and that's how
Okay. First of all, that's good. I'm just showing you the first, like, I know 7's going to go in. Guess how many times it goes in, by the way? Can anybody see it right away? Look up here. 7 times what? People say, holy mackerel, that's hard.
81.
81.
Yeah.
How do I know that so fast? Because that's where this came from. 7 times 81. This has to be 7 times 81. Negative 81. So this, let me just double check this. This is negative 566, which is not what we want. This is negative 186. This is negative 76. No, 74. Getting close. Then all of a sudden you go up to 14.
Nice. 9.
Actually, 14 doesn't work. Sorry, 9. My bad. 9
63.
times what?
63 negative.
Negative 63. What do you get from there?
Good afternoon. 54.
Good afternoon, Father Ron.
Mr. Coffin, can I interrupt you for a numerically sensitive issue?
Yeah, sure.
Just for a half a second. So the 6th grade asked me for all my pennies, and since they were the first to ask me for their pennies for penny wallets, I gave them all my pennies. But they didn't ask me for the bills I was going to donate to penny wallets. Do you guys want those?
Yes. We haven't done anything.
You haven't done anything?
We have 1 minute.
You've got 1 minute.
You got
That might keep you in the running if you use it
Go,
strategically.
I'm not running.
Don't run.
Thank you, Bob.
Sorry for the interruption.
Let's go make sure they don't do that.
Life is strange.
Just walking in the hallway.
Missed the action.
They have 25 seconds.
They got this. Okay, they have to hurry. Okay, they
20
might have to
seconds
start
left.
running.
I would have felt better if you had just given us like 10,000 pennies or something.
It's fine.
That's a positive.
If they're not there, then
The
we can just
sabotage is
distribute the
like,
money
hey,
amongst
you want to
ourselves.
win the race? Here's a poison knife. Go and stab somebody in the back. How high would
You have like a minute to do it.
Now watch us actually win from this.
Yeah, right.
That is,
Well, I mean,
yeah.
at the end of the
What-
year,
what
we
in our life
have
is
to
it?
Oh, they have to
This
say
is-
this.
I don't know if you saw it. No, you probably didn't. Father Ron came in and said, hi,
Couple seconds.
so-and-so asked me for my
No, but
pennies,
it is 15
but they didn't
seconds.
ask me for the
No,
dollar
it
bills I
ends
had
it.
in my pocket. So if you
It
want to use
ends
these to
at
sabotage other people, this is our brief. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I won't judge,
Okay, but they're talking a lot.
but yeah.
Yeah, most likely.
So, yeah, that's the circus I was talking
It's fine, if they can't.
Then about
put
5
them in,
girls
we
went
have
galloping
to
down to try and
live
put the
amongst
bills into the
ourselves.
other people's pockets. And,
Just me and you, 54.
yeah.
Or 60.
I have no, well, I think the deadline is at 1:30. So, Bridget is the only courageous person to stay. Yeah, she says
I
aye.
think ran out of it.
So, yeah. Oh, I hear them coming back. How touching. Okay.
Who put it in?
6th grade, they weren't happy. And they all started screaming when they did something.
They deserved it.
Yeah.
So,
My head is going to explode.
Okay.
All right.
How much money?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with,
40 bucks?
now that your et tu brute moment is done, let's
You guys should
catch that. Go read up on Julius Caesar. This one, it adds up to negative 54n. So close. Can anybody tell me how to fix it?
flip the sign.
Flip the signs. Negative 9n and then positive 63n. That should give you 54n. That's what we want. So magic pair of this. Let me do this. Okay, people in your combat. Hush. This is going to be 2 times 7n squared plus negative 9n plus 63n plus negative 81. Nope, that's still on screen for you. Yeah, barely. And now I'm going to miniaturize factor by grouping. Keep the 2 on the outside. This you can pull out an n with a 7n minus 9 inside. Here you can pull out a 9, I think. And then 7n minus 9. There's a little miniature GCF you can pull out. Here's what it looks like when you're all done. 2 parentheses 7n minus 9, and then the leftovers, n plus 9. And that is your factor. Question? Yeah. Same one or different one? Different one. Any other question on the same one?
I was next.
On the same one, that's true, actually.
I was next before.
Holy buckets, hold on. Which one did you want? Let me get the numbers.
1.
Number 1. Number 8. Where did number 8 at? No, we didn't either. I'll tell you what, I'll do a verbal on number 1. Add the opposites. And then gather like terms. This is plain old add.
Oh my gosh. I did group,
I took a.
Oh,
GCF.
oh, okay. Yeah, don't
So
do GCF.
confused.
Yeah, number 1, just add all the like terms together. Okay, Max. Oh, sorry. What did you want?
Yes,
19. I have 8 and 19.
Yeah.
Look.
19.
I think I can do both of these if you don't mind me skilling into study all just a little bit. All right, everybody else? Hush up, please. So we get that. I'll do number 8 first.
I did it.
Listening. Number 8. It is, hold on. Okay, that's the division problem. I'm going to set it up like a long division problem.
Yeah, that's
N plus 7 dividing into n cubed plus 8n squared plus 17n plus 64. I'm going to go a little fast here, so buckle your seatbelts. Can 2 terms go into 1? No, so there's nothing up here. There's kind of like a phantom 0. Can 2 terms go into 2? Yes. All you have to do is look at the first and the first. How many times does n go into n cubed? I don't know. Let's find out. That's n squared. This is n squared. Everybody okay so far? Okay. Multiply this in, you'll have n cubed plus 7n squared. I'm going to add the opposite. Cancel. And this makes 1n squared. Still okay? Okay. Now bring down the 17n. How many times does n go into 1n squared? No clue. Let's find out. One of the n's cancel, you're going to have 1n. So plus 1n. Multiply it. Do 1n squared plus 7n. Add the opposite. Cancel. You should have 10n, I think. Now bring down the 64. How many times does n go into 10n? I don't know. Let's find out. The n's cancel, and you're left with 10. So plus 10. Let's multiply that. 10n plus 70. Add the opposite. Cancel. You're left with negative 6 plus negative 6 over n plus 7. There you go. Does that make sense? All right. And then, sorry, I lost the other one. So, which one was it? 19. 19? Yeah. And we will continue this tomorrow. But the last one for today is number 19. Marika, you okay on this one? Okay. We've got 3x squared plus 19x plus 30 over x minus 10 times 1 over 3x plus 10. The first thing I would do is factor anything that factors. The bottom right does not factor. I was hoping for GCF, but it doesn't work. The top, the only possible way to factor is magic pair. 3x squared plus 19x plus 30. This actually comes out rather nicely. 90x, whoops, if I write it correctly. 90x squared. Can anybody think off the top of their head of two things that multiply that but add up to 19? Yeah, well. Yeah, 10x, 9x. That's your magic pair. If you find the magic pair right away, you don't have to list the whole thing. Let's plug that in. 3x squared plus 10x plus 9x plus 30. In the first pair, x comes out with a 3x plus 10 left behind. And in this one, a 3 comes out with a 3x plus 10. So pull the 3x plus 10 out in front. 3x plus 10 followed by x plus 3. That's this thing up here. 3x plus 10, x plus 3. You can ignore this now. Just looking up here, does anything cancel? Yeah, pleasure.
And 3x plus 10 and 3x plus 10.
Yeah, if it's multiplied, if it's a plus, we couldn't do this. Cancel, cancel. You only have two things left.
X plus 3 over x minus 10.
X plus 3 on top, x minus 10 on the bottom. And the restrictions are anything that's on the bottom. So x cannot be 10. And this one, you have to set it not equal to 0. So 3x cannot equal negative 10 divided by 3. So x cannot be negative 10 thirds. Okay? Yeah, real fast.
I have one really quick question. On number 3, I got the answer right, but then I pulled out a GCF of 2.
Oh, let me look. Oh, that's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's okay. As long as it didn't change the answer, you're good. All right, that's all we have for today. So, we're going to pray, and then we'll launch you into study hall, and then we'll, I guess, fly from there. Please stand. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. As it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Right? Back in the study, yeah, please.